everything. I hope I've done everything. Well, it says I'm live now, and I know I've not done everything because I've not done the countdown. Good evening, everyone. Have Kirsty, Ali, Beaky. I've got. It's easier to scroll on the computer, so I'm going to check on there. It's easier. It says it's got 3 people, and yeah, Buzzard, Ali, Kirsty. That number's 3. So yay! Hello, everybody. Right, I'm completely and utterly ready, as you can see. So I've got plastery thing, tubs to mix it in, water, something to mix it with, and a silicon sheet now. Very nice silicon sheet, bright pink. Okay, it's going to work. First, I need a mixing tub to mix in. So the plan tonight is, because I've not been happy with the way these I'm going to build them up with the same stuff that I did, the plastery stuff that I did inside the building. I'm going to build that up on the outside instead, and that should have all my rocks in it that I've already made. Fingers crossed. So what has everybody been up to? Yeah, bookcases are not good for decorating. They're getting away. Yeah, see, so pre-made rocks, they're going to go hopefully all the way around the outside. But first of all, I need something I can stick them into, so that means I've got to make a pillow at my desk and try not to make a complete mess. This is going to be fun. So I'm going to try doing the powdery stuff first. Now, they say mix it so it's like cottage cheese, but I want it to dry. Slightly quicker, so I'm going to try and mix it a little bit thicker and hope it still works and grabs the rocks. We're all good here, Ali. Little is still up at the moment because it's holidays. Teenagers are doing teenagery things because that's what they do. They have their interests. So fair play to them. Let them get on with it because we're both good at them. And I believe Mrs. Lass, as you all nicely refer to her as, is currently doing something with the youngest upstairs, which you can probably hear on the mic. Yeah, I think he's causing chaos as he normally does. Good. And so that is probably one of the most important comments, is the fact that somebody's actually confirmed that I'm not just talking to myself and you can hear me. Thank you very much, Kirsty. I'm not being sarcastic either, which is strange for me. But no, yeah, that's probably one of the most important comments I can get, because I don't have anyone up here with me at the moment because I forgot to send the link out because I'm an idiot. Which means I'll have to look at doing that in a minute. I mean, I could just post it, I suppose, as I usually do, but that means I've got to open. That means I've got to listen to myself speak. I don't like listening to myself speak. Because I'm doing it at my desk, I'm using the squirty ball because it's more controllable. That's very wet at the moment. Come on, mix. Oh. That's better. Come on. Okay, so yeah, because I'm an idiot and I forgot to put the link out there, I'm going to give that a second. And I will pop the link in the chat. Once I get over listening to my own voice. No, go away. Go away. Pin message here. Do I have to listen to myself anymore? I can't stand my own voice. I can't listen to myself back. You all know this. This is why I don't do videos. Right, now, hopefully that's going to be enough to do. That's not going to be enough to do. Is that going to be enough to do the big one? Just to correct you, Kirsty, there's no such thing as a too big bookcase. Now for the fun bit. And the reason I have gloves. And a silicone mat. And not enough space as usual. Right. Right. So smudge this in. These are possibly the worst gloves ever to do this with. These. I will in a moment. I'll have a drink in a moment. I'm just gonna see how much of this I need to layer up before I can start pushing rocks on. And there we go. That's not too bad. So that's the plan. Layer it up, put rocks on. And try not to get it over everything. But by the looks of it, unless I'm going to have to work in small areas and small batches, just to make sure it doesn't go off in the pot while I'm working with it. Because as I said, I've mixed it a little bit thick, but that was on purpose. I hear little feet coming down the stairs. We're getting a visitor. See you later, Kirsty, and good evening, Buzzard. I thought you'd already been in. Buzzard. But did you lose on the game and you come back finally to see me? Because you're like, ah, sorry. Try and building up and filling these rocks. If we can, that's not a good one for that, really. Way too small. I need a bigger one. Bigger one. That's not holding. That's not gripping it. Why is that not gripping it? Anyone ideas? Anyone? I'll take clues. I'll take guesses. I'll also take a blow to the head from my phone. That was a nice one. Game's not being your friend today. Phone's not being my friend today. Apparently it's attacking me. Right, so now try and fill in said cracks that I believe are stopping it from being stuck down. Wow. And hopefully that will. What is this? Do us a favour, mate. Keep the nose down. It is a little bit late for him, to be quite honest. And this is just not working how I wanted it to at all. This is just a nope situation.
She's making a game.
Okay, so the whole point of having this chevron done, based out and cut out is to. Do you not remember me making these buzzard? These are the things that I nearly cut my thumb off about 6 times with, because all these lines are all cut in with a craft knife. And it's just polystyrene, so I was just getting that much done with it. That, yeah, damn near cut my thumb off quite a few times. Well, I'm seeing how well I can build up rocks around them to see if I can actually get it to look better than that, and get it to more look like the rock from the blown out building. That's the plan. But it's going to take a little bit of work by the looks of it. So yeah, I'm definitely glad I put this silicon sheet down.
We never see them. You'll see them later. And did you still believe from that school? That's from my school. Now this
so filling in the cracks to hopefully get it to stick down by having a layer underneath and a layer over the top.
Don't trust him. He's a robot. He robbed.
Just give me one moment. Do you hear me? I'm live on YouTube right now. I am. And people can hear everything you're saying.
I'm not a robot.
Go on, back upstairs. You're supposed to be in bed now anyway. It's 9:30.
I just wanted to tell Mom something.
Whisper. He is a little chatterbox. It's all he's we set upstairs an hour and a half ago. I don't think he understood the memo of time to go to bed this time. So it's how to get it to, yeah, the set stuff doesn't like, the not set stuff doesn't like connecting to the set stuff at the moment, and it's, I don't really, I'm gonna have to work that out. So, right, the rock, sticking the rocks on. Yeah, he does have to try, but he's back again. Back again, even doing it his pass just in case he gets a glimpse on camera.
I just want to.
You can do that, but you can't get seen.
Why?
Because the cameras aren't looking at you like that.
How?
Because one's looking at this and one's looking at that.
That means
to make sure that none of the cameras are looking anywhere in that room for anyone else to get on.
Because Mummy doesn't like being on camera.
So go on, up you go. I'm not moving the cameras. Once this part's done, then small areas of this are going to get the same basing as the Tyranids, as well as a little bit of around the buildings are going to get that type of stuff as well. So it's been overgrown. That way, when I put the more techno stuff round it, it looks like the techno stuff's been built round older ruins rather than them trying to be from the same era. So that's roughly my idea. So there's kind of like I can do old planet, so I can run D&D on it, and it'll be fantasy. It'll fit in a fantasy world with it being just a big rock hill essentially. And then the 2 ruined buildings will just fit nicely into that. And then for when I want to play 40k with it as well, I can have the sci-fi terrain. It'll be built on an ancient human settlement, as opposed to a full sci-fi table. I can mix and match a little bit. So it seems like the better way to go is just going to be slap this on and then try and sculpt and mold it thereafter, I think. Or at least hot glue rocks to it afterwards. I'm not so much creating history, so much as trying to get as much as I can out of one piece. So if I can use one thing in two settings, that's awesome. If so, all the Warhammer 40,000 stuff is very sci-fi. So unless you're running a sci-fi game, tabletop cyberpunk, for instance, then you're not going to get away with the sci-fi terrain, really. So I need something that can mix and match into both. Although I've not played D&D too bloody long. I need to get at least a small campaign or something running again. So I'll smooth that out there. Try and blend it into the rocks. And I'm definitely going to have to make more of this. So yeah, definitely going to have to make more of this. I should have bulked it out with tinfoil first. When I glued the hills onto the thingy bases and cut the things off, what I should have done is built up tinfoil to about there. And then when I slapped this stuff over the top of it, wouldn't have took as much. That's the main thing. You wouldn't have took as much of it. I'm going to have to make a full tub of this. And my hopes of it being dry this evening, I've just gone right out the window. Which is not good because I missed last week, which is when I should have done this. And they would have been ready for this week had I actually gone on time. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I just wasn't feeling up to it last week. Yeah, I was supposed to be wearing gloves, but the gloves that I decided were the worst gloves in the world. So I need to pick up more gloves. I need to pick up blue gloves, the latex ones, the ones that actually stay on your hands when they touch something slightly sticky. Although I've got to say, I can't take full credit for the idea of building this up around it. Again, same inspiration for the other stuff. So wherever I've mentioned inspiration for doing a project, it's the same project. So when I was actually asking Dave over at MS Paints how he sorted his hills out, rather than trying to fix them like I'm doing, apparently he just binned his and started again. Oh, well, that's what part of this is now. Oh, this is partly what this is a way for me to focus and get some time in an odd way. This is a very odd way. I know. I get some alone time. So let's go stick my face up on YouTube. You got alone time just by throwing that time. Not much you can just build a report like that. And for those of you who have spotted the plaster on the palm of my hand, wrong hand for you dirty-minded cretins. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to mix some more up. I've not even got halfway around and I've used it all. I don't know how long this one's going to go tonight, because I've got 3 of these to do, hopefully. And during that time, I'm going to have to come back and, to a degree, sculpt these once it's started to dry. Now, I could make any changes in the land formation that if I wanted one at this moment in time, but I don't think I do. I don't think I want any changes in the land formation at this. I was tempted to possibly lower this section, so it's more of a kind of like that slant now. Not quite as steep. Good evening, Steve. How are you doing, man? Thank you for coming again. Yeah, I was tempted to make it so it's less steep coming up here, but then I realized it'll give me less room to put things on top of it afterwards. So I've decided I'm just going to keep it like that for now. Keep it at that height and know that it's not too difficult for a model to traverse up it. So you should be able to have one model stood like here and one model stood here, and they still be in unit coherency. That might be a bit of a big gap to keep them in unit coherency. I'm not sure. Could measure if I can remember where the 2 inches. Got to be within 2 inches of each other. Yeah, that's going to be a push. Keep it in unit coherency, but it's also going to make it a nightmare to charge up. So tactically on the terrain, it's still playable to play with tactics just off the hill. No, and yeah, I'm mixing more up. My tea will go cold. Thank you again, Ali. Sorry, yes, keep forgetting about that. The good thing is, it was literally the last thing I was making before I came online. So I put it down and sat down, went click go live, and got all my stuff ready. And so it's still quite hot actually, which is nice. So I don't need that anymore. So I'll shift that out of my bloody way because it's doing it now. I do, however, there's a damn sight a lot more of this and a lot more water. So yeah, I barely filled it last time. So this time I think we'll go for a bit more. Yeah, okay, why not? You see, if I'm in dire need of a drink, then I'll drink cold tea. If I need a drink and there's cold tea there, it's wet, it's water. Essentially, it'll do. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Speaking of water, because I do need to fill out. It's going to take the entire lot, maybe more, to sort all that out into this stuff, which is still soggy wet. Soggy wet. Right, so I'm just back in a moment when I go fill this up. Unmute first and back. How do you see? My missus can drink tea like it's like that, but I can't. I have to give it about 10-15 minutes before I can start drinking it. And Mrs. however has finished her brew in that time. It's like a mouth made out of asbestos. No, not it bloody well is. Mouth made out of asbestos. How do you drink boiling water or near boiling water? That's just silly. Let's say I don't mind a coffee. I do drink tea a lot more than drink coffee. I've got to say I drink tea. Tea is my drink. Even if I'm out of a bar, tea is usually my drink. If you've got a good one, if not, I'll go for a coffee. Occasionally, if I'm feeling in the mood to have a drink, or I'm being peer pressured into it by make tea, then if you're going to peer pressure me into it and you're buying, it's going to cost you a rum. It's going to cost you a rum. I can't drink beer. But yeah, tea if I've got a choice. Coffee if it's okay, your tea's crap. And then if we're out and coffee's not really socially what you're doing at the moment in time, read the room, for instance, then yeah, it's spirits I have to go for. I can't go for beer. Right, yeah. So yeah, milk content does have a lot to do with it. The more milk you put in, obviously, the cooler it goes. No, I don't have a whole lot of milk in mine, and I still like it relatively strong. So the only thing you make it look so weak on the camera is because I've got a half litre cup and I'm using one tea bag because not crap tea bags are expensive nowadays. I mean, if you want crap tea, you can get a crap tea dirt cheap, but it's crap tea. Right, let's see if that's enough to even finish off the large hill. Why did it start with the large hill? Now here's one for you, Alison, because it is a nice one. Now, I even though I said I've just gone through that whole I don't really drink thing, try Twining's sleep tea. So it's not a one you put milk in. It's just a smelly flavored tea. That with some honey and a good shot of spice rum. You've got yourself a very nice winter's drink there. Or just cold comfort drink. Also works with lemon and ginger. Or pretty much any flavored tea that you might like. That would go with rum. And the honey just takes that little edge off it usually. Because you get that grassy, planty type tastes out of most of them. And that sweetness of the honey just takes that edge off it. It's nice. So, all right, it's not as textured as it was. But hopefully it will be in a few moments. You see, neither do I, but that is one that if it's like, yeah, no, that's quite nice, that one. My mother-in-law got some homemade slow gin, which I can't stand gin. It's revolting stuff. Except for this one. This one is absolutely beautiful. That one. It could be a little bit one of one, I suppose. I'm just keeping an eye out. It's going to be the last one I do, probably. Because I'm going to run out of lunch, and that might be the next one I do because I don't know if I have enough room to do that one. It does go back there by quite a bit. I'm going to have to move it, so I'll slide this one over a little more. There we go. Okay, this is where the camera comes in extra useful because I'm going to actually use it to fill in this section. So I'm going to be using what you lot can all see to sculpt this one. So this should be a reasonable idea of how well I'm doing to show you. Because if we can do it off that, then I'm not doing too badly. I want that to be flat to that so it doesn't bring it up so it's flush with it over the edges, because I don't want any annoying little 1mm bumps that I've left in the foam just at the top of it. I'd rather it be a nice smooth transition from one to the others. So what you're saying is, as long as we don't tell you, you'll drink out. That's what that means. As long as we don't tell you, you'll drink out. Out meaning anything. Right, back over that side quickly. No, I've got the big dollop going in there. Okay. And that comes round into don't worry, you'd be safe. You'd be safe. I don't stick alcohol in unless requested. Every time I touch this desk, I get the sound of something falling somewhere. I don't know where it's falling to because there's nowhere for it to fall to, and I don't ever see anything move. But I get the something's just fallen sound from somewhere. And whenever I look, I can never see anything that's fallen, which is worrying, very worrying. Nah, we wouldn't. We're not cruel. We're not cruel. We'd joke about doing it, but we never actually would. Which is possibly worse. Then you'd be constantly paranoid, like, has this drink got it in? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. But no, I can't drink it now. So, yeah, possibly worse, but we'd never actually do it. Don't worry, we wouldn't put alcohol in your drink when you don't drink. Especially if you're the designated driver. Nah, I'm not that daft. Mainly because I'd go apeshit if someone did it on me. So I wouldn't do it on someone else because I expect the same reaction. Depending what it is and how it's presented, yes, you're you'd taste it, unless it was a very small amount in very diluted, in which case they'd have to ply you with quite a couple, even though you don't drink, for you to start feeling it. And they'd have to choose something like vodka or something with very little odor emission. Or even vodka, you'd smell something. Good evening, Casper. How are you doing, man? I'm getting sloppy with some Bella tonight. I'm hoping that it turns out right. And yes, I have a beanie hat on tonight instead of my usual grey hat. I know. I dirtied my grey hat up. It had to go in the wash. So my head is a little bit warm at the moment. But at least my bald head hasn't been shining up by the light. So I've saved your eyeballs for that one. See how I think of you. No, you wouldn't taste it straight away, but if they're dumb, and most people who are going to do something like that are dumb, you'd smell it a mile off. The good thing is the people who would do it right are the people who wouldn't do it. Well, out of your friends anyway. Wow, that side took form pretty quickly. Just got that bit around there too now. Hopefully, it's not going to be a pain. It's going to happen quickly and easily and not get all over my cutting mat, please. I think that 2-inch coherency rule is going to come in quite a lot on this though. Especially for smaller units. I should say for larger units where you've got to be in coherency of 2 models rather than just 1. So Tyranids are not going to like it. Tyranids are really not going to like it. I didn't think of it like that actually. It does look like steak from Flintstones. Hopefully it won't do when I've finished it. Fingers crossed it won't do when I've finished it. Going off how long this is taking, I won't be finishing it tonight. Although, yeah, that's... I need to add some... I need something to add. Aha! Good old tinfoil roll thing. Just to try and add some texture to it. And take some of those scrape lines out with the thing and my fingers. I knew I kept this round for a reason. doesn't like the wet stuff though. Alright, okay. So that's about the limit we've got to it drying on the top level so far. I'm going to have to go back in and put a bit on there. This is essentially wall filler with a PVA mixed in is what I'm using to fill around the outside. The main bits in the middle is pretty much that standard polystyrene, and that's underfloor foam insulation heating board. Wire wool would scruff it up, but it'll get very clogged very quickly because it would remove matter rather than just dent it. Wire wool does work, but I don't want. I've not got enough stuff on there for it to be removing at the minute, so I don't want to be wire wool in it. However, this will just put some dents and stuff in, just take the flat bits out. So it doesn't look like it's been laid out by a trowel. It's obviously a bad thing for a natural rock formation. Which apparently this is how they do it in movies as well. Good evening, Mick. How you doing, man? Just talking about you earlier. How you're one of the few people who've managed to actually get me to drink over the last few years. Mick follows. Mick knows what everyone's up to. Mick's like the eyes and ears of the internet. Between him and Squirrel, they know everything. Ask him any question. Okay, so I've got to wait for the rest of that side to firm up. Go on, how many did you get sent off? If you're watching Leeds, how many did you get sent off? Am I going to be able to pick this up to possibly actually show this from the side now? So now it's rather than looking like that as a rock, it now looks like that as a rock. I've just got to paint the damn thing. When I can do that piece and get rid of that smooth bit and a couple of other bits around there, you now can actually pick it up and see. You won 3-1, so you only got 3 players sent off and they got 1. Excellent. Is that a good result? Pardon me. I don't mean by fair play, because you're probably doing better than we are right now. Okay. Wow, I have to make up 2 batches of that just to do the big one.
Stop talking up there.
I may have to take a break in a moment, but we'll find out in a second if the teenagers allow the little one to sleep. Okay, so we'll start building up the small one before I start looking at. That is another actual big one, so I'm not sure how to. I don't think I've got enough room to be able to do that one, and that one and that one. And that one all on my desk at the same time. Yeah, fuck it, we'll give it a go, eh? That's what we're here for. Try it. If it doesn't work, try again with a different method. Bottles to it. I need to empty the bowl out anyway. I can't mix more in if I don't empty the bowl out. Now, any professional plasterers, if you come through here, I know I'm doing a terrible job. I don't intend to plaster a wall ever in my life. Rest assured, your jobs are safe. I wanted to do that red stick. There it is. You absolutely brilliant for just scraping around the inside there and just getting that last bit off. So I'll put some clean inside it. Right. Batch number 3. Did not expect to be saying that tonight. I was worried this wasn't even going to last an hour, you know. I don't think I have to worry about that anymore. I was like, quite thoroughly think this is going to take me another hour or so just to get even close to finished. Or close to a point where it's, right, leave it alone now till it's completely dry and come back and paint it. Stop rubbing that. It's got plaster on the bloody end, you idiot. And I don't mean that plaster, I mean that plaster. Oh. You have a good night, Stephen. Thank you very much for coming to join me. Hope you have a good rest. And hope you had a good bank holiday so far. Or public holiday, or however you've managed to get the day off work. Most people have been off work today. It's just taking a lot of this plaster. In fact, I may have to buy some more soon. Will this be taking the last of it? I believe it might be. Yes, it is. I thought I'd plant it. I'm now doubting whether I've actually got enough to finish the 2 hills that I have left. They are both smaller than the original one that I started with. Good evening. Good evening. I'm not doing that tonight. That is on the OnlyFans channel, BC. I've told you that. And my Viagra has not come through yet. So I can't get the full whack that I would like to create those pieces of art. Are you on?
I'm trying to.
All right.
Not get it.
Neither. We are. Tonight is slapping about some plaster and trying to make it look like rocks. Basically, I'm trying to pretend to be Hollywood. Make something look like something that it isn't. Although plaster, I suppose, technically is a rock. In a way, so. I just hope this wooden stick doesn't break. Just as I said it. Just as I said it. It snapped. It's like it knew. It was listening to me. What have I got that's going to be able to withstand and mix this up? Well, it needs more water. And that's the end of the refills water bottle. And spudger, which is technically what I probably should have been using to apply this stuff with, but never mind. Come mix through the middle as well. That's where all the dry stuff is. I don't just hate having a small tool when you've got to go into a big deep hole. Forget I said that. Well, yeah, this handle certainly isn't enough to be mixing this properly. It's really small. So I'm going to give up with that one. I'm going to look for something else, seeing as my decent mixing tools fucking broke on me. Have I got any big thingies left? I've got a big lolly stick thingies, lollipop stick things. Or even better, another one of those sticks. Okay, she's a bit slimmer, but it's longer. I can get a better grip on it to mix. That's good. Mix it till it's relatively thick. And that's not going to be enough to go around both of them. Just after doing this one, I can realize that now. Let's see if I can get this one big dollop to do the majority of this work. Obviously, this could all fail miserably afterwards by just not sticking. It has got PVA glue in it, so good chance it should stick, but there is that possibility that it's all just going to come crumbling off afterwards. I don't find that out until probably Wednesday, when I try and give it some kind of coat once it's properly dry. So I'll be priming it and then painting it black again and then acing it up all through the browns and the greys, bits of green, and then the mossy the mossy stuff on top, and little patches. It used to be a lot easier back in the day when I first started. We used to be able to get away with just having cardboard boxes. Theatre of the Mind used to do it for us then. Then it became a miserable out twat, and now I've actually got to have something that looks real, otherwise it doesn't look right. Right. So that is Jesus, I've added a crap ton of weight to that. Right. That's you done. Drink my tea because I'm about to go near my tea. I've agreed to your who now what now? I've agreed to your what? I don't recall agreeing to this. When did I agree to this? Do you have it in writing? Greetings, sir. How you doing? I hope we are not keeping you up too late. Actually, can't remember most people's time. I can't remember my own time at the moment. I'm getting confused every time I look at my phone and walk past the microwave, and then I forget what day it is. So, yeah, at the moment, if you're anywhere other than sat right in front of my computer, I have no idea what time zone you're in. Including Ali, and I know she's literally on like an island next to me. I think she's in the same time zone. I'm pretty sure she's in the same time zone, but I'm not 100%. No worries, Seth. No worries. You're at the last point where I can actually demonstrate, which is good. So excellent timing on that one. When I first started streaming, I made these hills. Okay, not with the blue stuff on the bottom, just the brown stuff. And I've taken pictures with tyrannids on them and all sorts of stuff. But I've never been happy with how they come out. They've always looked like it's carved in foam, which is what it is. What I want it to look like is real rock. Now, after the success that I'm going to call the inside of the ruined tower, I decided that, and after speaking to Dave, I can't leave him out because he did give me the idea. Credit where credit's due. I'm using what's essentially polyfiller and another layer of foam insulation underneath and filling it up to make it look more like. I can't pick that one up now. I can pick this one up now to make it look more like that rather than the gashed in, just slashed foam. Don't be doing too much of that picking up stuff because it is not dry. And while it's flexible at the moment, there's only so much flex it's going to have because of the foam basing at the end of it. Yeah, see, I was pretty certain, but when my phone and my microwave are in a different time zone to each other and they're in the same room, I get confused. And quick before this goes off. And it's even more weirded out if you catch it when it actually one changes and the other one hasn't actually changed yet because they don't necessarily change at the same time. So one says it's 2 o'clock in the morning and the other one says it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And you think, what is going on? And a few seconds later, they both say the same time, and then you think, yeah, I definitely just walked through a Twilight Zone or something. And the next day, everyone tells you, "Did you remember to turn your clock back last night?" And then you feel like a dick. This isn't going to go in. It's just going to go in. Do I want this to go in lights or shallower? Do I want this to go in shallower? I don't know. I'm not sure on this bit. I'm really not sure if I want this bit to be shallower. We'll see how it looks once we've actually got most of it around. And I'm going to run out of plaster. I really thought I had enough for this. And you've seen how just the size of dollop I've just put on there, and it's shaping mostly, and it's filling most gaps. But I've still got a long way to go. I mean, that's about a halfway point across it. So yeah, I've come to about the halfway point once I get to about here. At the moment, I'm using most of my fingers and a rolled up piece of tin foil. Once it's gone a little bit tougher, which is perfect timing for that, Cheers, because that should have gone off just enough now for me to roll over that bit. And yeah, just rolling over essentially a scrunched up tin foil tube batten thing and rub that over it. Or while I've still got some damp plaster on my fingers, I'm kind of tapping it so it almost like artexes it to give it just a rough texture rather than a smoothed, nice, happy texture, which is what I don't want it to have. You space out and spread over there. Come on. At least I might have the advantage that even though I've run out on this one, I'll have to come back and carry on with it to finish it off. This one might dried enough for me to at least try a couple of things, I hope. We'll see. Got to get this to stay in here first. I think a bit too. He's getting way too much like putty now. I didn't put enough water in because I'm a dick. And the lazy side of me got the better again. No. Okay, let's finish it around here. See how far this gets from this side. Because this is right at the back, I can kind of leave this on the desk to come back to during the week. I'm just going to go back to Screwfix or Toolstation or whichever being, I can't remember where I got this stuff from. Well, it's the stuff with the PVA in that I want because it helps it bind better than standard. Right. Is there anything left in here? I hope so. Oh, wow. Yeah. You're breathing fish. It's like a whole dangerous ball game that I'm going to say kettle of fish then, but that would have been a really, really crap joke that was completely unintended. So, yeah. I'd rather take care of puppies and breed dogs. No, not fish. The amount of temperature and pH and environmental. No, thank you. So I managed to get just over halfway around. But that's going to require a lot of texturing. A lot of texturing. At the moment, my fingers are actually pulling it off. It's not actually sticking to where it's supposed to stick, which is not good. Not good. So hands absolutely caked in plaster now. They do require a lot of time, but they're not as delicate as fish. Fish, it can all go wrong in 1 degree. 1 degree, or you get the pH 0.5 out, and it's just all of them. Everybody's like, no, you've saved 1 or 2. It's like, no, because of that one thing, it's catastrophic to the entire tank. Fish are just, once you've got them set up and going, I understand that it's supposed to be quite easy. And once it's going, it's, yeah, you just keep on top of it and it's done. But I couldn't imagine breeding them, because then, yeah, as you said, you've got to set up a second tank and then run it over from there. Stop rubbing the plaster all over your plaster. Yeah, I mean that, but yeah, done them all at once tonight, but it's still a good reminder for me to not do it. Yeah, I have the plaster on my hand for a reason, because I'm an idiot. Forgetting that friction on manual tools can cause your skin to rub off. Yeah, I was essentially using a pair of scissors that was, well, they were what everyone classifies as a normal pair of scissors, but they were wrong for me. And I was using them for too long, and the big part of the handle ended up wearing this little dot in the skin there in my hand. I decided it's probably best not to do this tonight with like one off dot of skin on my hand. I'll try and get all this plaster off my hand now. That's gonna be fun. Okay, let's have another quick look just to make sure, and let's just reform this tin foil. Just because it's a little full now with this stuff, essentially. And I'm hoping any flat bits that I get around the bottom, I can glue some of that basing material to. So it will then blend. Eventually, if I actually make a board, I'm going to have to buy a lot more tea bags, because I'll like it to, my armies to go with it and be a themed board. But yeah, they'll blend in no matter which level it's on. It should blend into the board at the correct height. That's the idea anyway. But now I have kind of texture this while it's still in this condition. Oh, I can. That's good. Because if nothing else, it'll hopefully help the next layer to bind if I have to put another layer over it. And if not, hopefully it'll still look good enough to get away with looking like a rock. This tinfoil is definitely on its way out. I've used it a fair few times now for texturing. I think it's seen the end of its days. I may have to get a new blob of tin foil. Soon. I'm not giving up on this one just yet. There's still life in it. Try and get rid of any of those flat bits. It looks where you can tell it's been smoothed out by fingers. It's right. The answer to that one is that I'm in two minds. Because it's going to be kind of a porous plaster when it's dried, I can try just dropping inks in and kind of staining it instead of painting it. So I want to try that first, because that would be a whole lot easier if I could just drop a load of inks on blacks, greys, browns, and just let it seep in and kind of merge through naturally. If that fails, then yeah, it'll be getting the usual primer, black, dry brush, and then I'll be going over it with browns and greys and more earthy colours. Which is why these are out, just in case I manage to actually get a chance to try it on this at some point. So I've got the kind of browning black inks or speed paints to go on and try it. And then I've got the two standard brown paints that I would use just in case it didn't work. So Ali was asking me this earlier today. Do I have a plan if that doesn't work, and do I have a plan if that doesn't work? My response, I believe, was I have a plan. I've planned enough that I can use the English, Greek, and Mandarin alphabet for plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all the way through. I have enough ideas. The problem is so many ideas. I get so many projects going, and then I end up with my desk being in the condition it's in now that I can't actually do any projects now because my desk is full. So I've got to clear the ones out there. So I believe if I just knock that off, take that away because I don't want that there. Everything that should be on the mat is on the mat. Pardon me. Everything that's, oh no, missed a bit. So how could you let me miss that? Well, I know how you let me miss it because you didn't even know I did it. But still. I believe after this, that will be this done for the evening. So what? And about, it took like an hour to do that bit. Or damn near an hour just to do that bit. And then it's took me, 20 minutes to do the rest of it, that one and all that. Yeah, something was wrong in all that. Something was wrong somewhere. Something definitely went wrong. Well, that's kind of what my plans are, is I wing it in advance. Essentially. Very useful skill to have to be able to wing it in advance. Quite a versatile skill. If you got to run, you've got to do it for the enjoyment of it, and yeah, unless you know you're competitively going to be able to do it because you've competitively run numerous times and pulled off those. Just aim for a personal best. every time, especially on a 5K. I'll be honest with you now, I'm not doing it because I'm saying I can't. I would keel over. It would be the end of me to do a 5K. Probably the end of me to do a 1K, in all fairness. But actually, I think I might be able to manage a 1K. But that's only because my legs are long. And I kind of fast walk it when everyone else runs. I don't want any over the top, straight, like flat lines on it. So it's difficult to try and get some amount around the bottom. So yeah, in future, if anyone wishes to do this, don't do it this way. That's my advice. What might be a better way is to get something like expanding foam. Just spray a load of that onto a silicone sheet and then carve it out. That might be a better way of doing it. Now thinking about it. But that'll be good for these little ones anyway, definitely. Might not work for the big flat ones because you'd have to completely flat and cut level it all off. Don't know how steady your hands are, so I don't know how good you'll get away with that. This polyfiller seems to work though. Well, not polyfiller because it's all-purpose powder filler. How generic can you get? No, I couldn't be doing that. Once you start getting into that, if you're going for the next one and the next one, from a 5K up to a 10K up to a 15 up to a 20, you're going to start doing that 5 marathons in 5 days in 5 continents type stuff by the end of it. And that's just stupid. I mean, fair play to people who've done it, on like David Goggins and people like that who have done that type of stuff. But what? I mean, all right, Goggins did it a little bit more extreme than most people. Most people do them big, long ones with teams. He did it on his own. Completely crazy person. But hey, he did it. Why is plaster so difficult to remove from your hands? So I've now come to the end of this, what is going to be the technical part of the stream. This is now the annoying, frustrating part of the stream where I sit here and try and figure out how I'm going to get all this off without clogging up my drains. Just washing it off down the sink. Or using hand rub alcohol and getting it all in the thing I don't want to get in. Because it's going to sting like buggery. Still can't believe I ran out. I'm gutted. I'm actually genuinely gutted. I thought I had more than enough. I thought I was still going to have excess left over by the time I finished that. Apparently not. Although I did plan to use the rocks, which failed miserably at the start, which was this section over here. You can't even see this because it's the section that's actually off the camera. It's this section down here, which you can't tell I've actually stuck any rocks in there. So wait a minute, you've got 3 of the 7 continents left to run of them on a marathon on, and one of them's Antarctica. Yeah, I think you're well on track to be able to do that, to at least clock that one up. well on track to at least clock that one up. Yeah. But that means I'd have to go get a big bucket of water, and I don't want to put a big bucket of water near my PC. And I suppose I could just go, thank you very much, bye, and close out the stream. But it's what, 20 to 11? I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I think I can make at least another 10 more minutes, just in case anyone wants to say anything, ask anything. Could be more. There is actually an Antarctica marathon. There's actually an Antarctica marathon. I did not know there's an Antarctica marathon. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the one where you... Is that a team-based one as well? Like, usually it's like army teams and things like that that have been training for it. And that's why it's invite only, because, yeah, let's face it, if you're going on a marathon in Antarctica, it's not a marathon like a standard marathon, is it? It's like, look, this is extreme survival, and you've got to make it this far as well. Yeah, Antarctica is definitely more of a survival thing than a distance thing. Apparently not. If you get a decent pair of boots over there, because it's relatively, I want to say untouched, but no, we've been up quite a lot all over it. Just that they don't tell us what they find there. $42.2 kilometers around the coast of Antarctica. Can you stream it? I'll watch it from the comfort of my nice warm home. But that place is... We are not designed to live there. That entire place is just set out to kill us. And my philosophy is, if something wants to kill you, don't go near it. If the thing is an entire island, then yeah, certainly don't go near it. Although there is the theory that if they both melt, that will actually turn into land, isn't there? So you might want to make sure you know how to get there in a boat, just in case. And I don't just mean by following the compass south. I do that from here. I'm going to hit Africa. I'm going to hit Spain, France and Spain first. Oh, cool. So in spring, some of the warmer seasons, you actually get to see some of the landmass rather than it all being... Well, it's not all frozen over all year round anyway, because they have the dark end for a start, which, as far as we're aware, is accessible year round, providing the water lets it. More of a water based thing than a land based thing. I'm gonna have to get some. See, it was all nice and brown and rocky looking before I started. Now it's... I don't know. Some Hollywood stars dream at the moment, covered in white powder. Now it's drying off, to try and smooth out and clear up the edges, the actual edge bits that will be the playable area. That won't be looking like rock. I do actually want to look like something that they can actually stand on and move around on. Well, it holds up relatively well, actually. And depending on the angle... Now let's try you on that. No, you're not getting it. You can get overhanging, so you should be able to get a 2-inch. Let's try a unit, see if we can get a 2-inch coherency going. Need to make sure it is playable. It's one of the first things. Only, well, put him right up to the base of the hill. Yeah, no, he can get in unit coherency. Sweet. So actually, that extra little bit of grip that you get from that I'm getting from having the like chalky layer around the outside, he's actually got to shorten that gap so I can actually have them all in the unit coherency. No worries, Saf. You have a very, very nice sleep, mate. You enjoy. And have fun at work tomorrow. I hope you had a nice Easter, if you celebrate Easter. Right. So unit coherence will work on them now, which is nice. Which means it will easily work on. Yeah, that's like an inch. Will I get away with it on this one? No. So that nice big thick corner there, I will not get away with the unit coherency on. So there won't be many units using that corner. But most of it, I should get away with it. So success so far. So far. Just got to let it dry properly, give it a brief rough over just to remove any loose stuff, and then I'll be able to paint it next week, hopefully. So, well, thank you everybody who came to join me, and thank you, Ali, for staying till the end. That's it for tonight. That's all I'm going to be doing for tonight. So next week, fingers crossed, I'm going to have finished the other side of this one. So that is all the way around. Then what I might do is, before next week, is play around with the painting and inking idea first on the little one. See which one works, see which one doesn't. And then by next week, I'll know which one I'm doing. So we're right. I'll be able to ink everything over, PVA glue it, and then put the tea leaves on it, or it'll all be sprayed, primed, and all brushed up, ready to have the brown paints mixed through and the grey paints mixed through to vary up the rock. But either way, we shall find all that out by next week. Wow, that's a lot of dust that's coming off my hands. I'm definitely going to have to go sort that out. But yes, that's all for next week. I'll sort all that out. Thank you again for all coming to see me and find out what I'm doing. Looking at the computer again. I'm certainly not a professional at this. Yeah, thank you all for coming, and I shall see you next week. Drive safe.